Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Technically Unraveled, where yes, I am taking over once again from Kristen as she travels down under to Australia, meeting with our APAC team. My name is Matthew Batterbee. I am the Global GTM Solutions Director for all things Microsoft Business Applications here at Pax8. Excited to be hosting today. And make sure that you are liking, subscribing, keeping up to date with all things Pax8 Live, everything that we're doing, all the shows that we're doing week in and week out, and staying up to date. I am not joined today just by one person. I wanted to make this a real special episode, so I wanted to be joined and make this a free Brit takeover. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to the first Brit, Eliott.
Director for our go-to-market services for Azure. I'm the second of the three Brits. I can hand over to my other colleague who's less British but more Britton, I guess.
I'm the only Brit that speaks fluent y'all on this screen. But yes, I am Brittan, Trembley, Benton, and I'm the Global Go-to-Market Director for Microsoft's Modern Workplace, and happy to join my fellow Brits.
Can enable you to get there. First things first, I really want to highlight some good new updates. So in terms of Dynamics 365, we have a Dynamics 365 Customer Insights general availability. So that is going general availability on the 1st of September. And it's that is bringing together Dynamics 365 marketing and customer insights into one application, which for those users is actually going to be a cost saving of around 40%. So you can go and check out more information on that on the Dynamics 365 partner portal. Links are in the description to keep you up to date. Second update is with regards to Dynamics 365 Power Platform Copilot general availability. So you can go to releaseplans.microsoft.com to stay up to date on all that. When it comes to Copilot general availability, you'll see date ranges from October 2023 to January 2024. So it does depend on the solution and also the functionality that is going to be going general availability. So go to releaseplans.microsoft.com. Again, links in the description to go and find out more about those release plans for general availability for Copilot. I've been getting asked about that quite a lot lately. I actually did a LinkedIn video yesterday highlighting a ton of this information, key resources for you, key blogs, key learning materials like Copilot boot camps, Cloud Weeks, all these things in that. So feel free to go check out my LinkedIn and you'll be able to stay up to date on all those things. So Britton, I know you've got some good updates for us as well when it comes to modern work and security.
Yes, I want to share some insightful events for September. So open up your calendar or prepare to send this to someone on your team that needs to open up their calendar, starting with September 11th. So we will have our Microsoft monthly update, and that is something that we bring to you every single month to keep up with what's going on in Microsoft. And of course, if you can't make it live, you can always catch it on YouTube. The next couple of things that I want to share are labs. And so these are first come, first serve, and these are for North America. The first one is going to be on the 13th, and this one is a deep dive into M365 Copilot. Like Matt just said, we know the buzz of AI is everywhere, and we're trying to get in front of it with you to make sure you know how to make it work for your business. And then September 21st. And this one will be insider pointers on SharePoint. This will get you how to use that tool wisely since it is so foundational to so many organizations. And after those modern work updates, I'm going to pass it off to Eliott for the tea.
Yes, love the tea. I'm without tea, which I feel like I'm the one letting the Brit side down right now. I should have had a cup of tea ready and like a Union Jack mug and gone like all out. Two quick updates from my side from all things Azure. So there are two dates that you really need to keep in mind. So first and foremost is SQL Server. So we're coming to the end of extended security updates for SQL 2012 and 2012 R2. So this is happening on October 10th. So we actually have a link down below that will help guide you through what you need to do. But any customers that are running SQL 2012, 2012 R2, October 10th, any extended security they've had on those deployments is now coming to an end. So this means no more support from Microsoft, no more security updates. So we need to stay ahead of that curve, make sure that we are treating October 10th as a deadline and getting in touch with our customers, making sure we either migrate, modernize, do something in those environments, keep them safe. The second is a date that I love shouting about, and that is for our Azure Virtual Bootcamp. So this is on the 19th and 20th of September. So we'll be joined by Nerdio again. They're a fan favorite, always on the Azure Bootcamp. Microsoft actually have 3 sessions covering things like security, deployments, modernization. And we have our very own Pro Services team giving you some hot tips on how to migrate and keep things easy and what's best practice. So I actually heard this morning we have over 750 registrations for that Azure Bootcamp. So if you don't go and click the link below and register, you might be the only one not there. Everyone is attending, and I'm a bit biased, but Azure is my favorite of the 3. I mean, I'm joined with the other 2 Brits, so I've kind of got to give them some rep too. But Azure Bootcamp, 19th and 20th, be there. Back over to you, Matt.
Amazing. And yeah, some of the numbers that you've mentioned around the people that are registering for the Azure Bootcamp, I'm slightly jealous of that, but it is amazing. It really does highlight that it is a clear focus for so many of our partners. I'm gonna start that off by saying, if you really want to grow your Azure practice, make sure you're selling Dynamics 365. And on that, I'm going to hand this over back to Eliott because we want to talk about our big bets as we head into FY24. There was so much stuff announced at Inspire. There's so much going on. You've heard about the boot camps and all these things that's going on right now. So, Eliott, in your expert opinion, what would you say around big bets when it comes to Azure in FY24 for Microsoft partners?
Okay, so massive topic, right? The breadth of solutions that there are on Azure, it's huge. So it's kind of hard to narrow this down to just a few. A bonus one for the beginning, sell Dynamics. There you go, Matt. I got it in. You said it. I've got to say it too. If you want your customers to spend more on Azure, sell them Dynamics. It just makes sense. Now onto the Azure bits. So we've just come out of Microsoft Inspire. It feels like it just happened yesterday, but we're over a month since Inspire. And when it came to the Azure updates, Microsoft may have mentioned AI about 4,367 times, not that I counted. AI is everywhere. Microsoft are talking to me about it on a regular basis. I'm working with their leadership team to understand how we can take advantage of AI, how we can bring this to our customers. And it was kind of my job to take all this information, take the many presentations from Microsoft around AI and distill that down into what does this mean for SMB and what does this mean for our MSPs and how can we use this opportunity to be successful. And the truth is, it's kind of just a migrate and modernize play with AI skinned over the top of it. It's kind of a bit fancy. So the way that I managed to kind of get through this was by looking at all of the AI solutions and thinking, do we want our MSPs to become data scientists overnight? Do we want them to train machine learning models? Do we want them to be kind of picking all this apart? And the answer is probably no. And do you have the time to do this? Also probably no. So what can we be doing to make sure that we are reacting to the wave of AI in a way that's beneficial for us and our customers? And the answer to that is make sure your customers are ready. Right. So we see lots of AI infused solutions that are coming to the market right now, especially in the Azure space. And the honest truth is, if you take those into an SMB customer today and try and use them, they won't work that well, right? You're layering AI on top of shaky data. So it will basically be enabling you to get wrong answers quicker. And that's what nobody wants. Nobody just wants wrong answers quicker. And that's all AI is going to do. So what we want to do is encourage our MSPs to have the data conversation with their SMB customers. How can we take control of the data estate, discover what's there? There'll probably be some server in some dark cupboard somewhere they've forgotten about where they're running SQL and they've got some old stuff on it. And you just, so how do we discover, orchestrate, and modernize the data estate to then be ready to consume these AI solutions? So that's kind of the main thing that I took from Inspire.
Yeah, and you know what? I couldn't agree. Like, this is what's really creepy about us three. I've never been so aligned in terms of with the modern work messaging, with
Yep.
the Azure messaging. It's incredible. And what you've just said there, you know, this is the conversations I'm having when it comes to Dynamics as well. It's like, you
Absolutely.
know, we've got so many SMB customers that are using Excel for everything, or they've got paper post-it notes on their
Yeah.
desks, and you want to have an AI conversation. Like, there needs to be the cloud conversation and the data conversation before,
Yep.
you know, they would go into that. So I could not agree more. Were there any
Yep.
other big bets? Sorry, I know I cut you off there. So continue. I just could not help
Yeah.
but mention Dynamics during that bit.
No, you are spot on. Like the three of us are so in sync with our messaging, and I think that comes with a lot of what we're trying to do at Pax8 as a whole, right? This one cloud message of we can't really do one without the other. So the fact that we're all kind of approaching this in the same way makes a lot of sense. So that's kind of my 5 minutes on AI, right? What can we realistically do? Is one, understand the importance. Two, make sure that we are getting them AI ready, not necessarily just ramming AI on top of already what is probably a shaky environment. The next kind of two big bets for me, one is AVD, so Azure Virtual Desktop. I'm hearing all the time from our infrastructure solution consultants and our pro services team that AVD is one of the primary workloads. And again, nodding to the other Brits on the call, this is a massive, massive play because of business premium and above, right? You're already paying for some of AVD functionality. So this is why when it comes to virtualization and meeting your workers where they are, AVD is so important because the likelihood is they're consuming modern workplace. They've probably paid for most of the cost of what an AVD environment is going to be. We just need that compute. So we're still seeing SMB customers and MSPs driving with AVD and that being a lead solution for them. And that's not going to change for the upcoming FY for Microsoft. So that's definitely big focus number two. And the third and final one is just calling back to my update earlier. That's SQL end of support. We have tens of thousands of customers in every single region that are still running SQL 2012 and 2012 R2. It is not a small opportunity. So have the talk with your, find out what they're running, because the likelihood is someone developed some kind of app. It's sat on SQL. They haven't touched it in years, and it's going to become a vulnerability point for them. So have that conversation. Look to migrate. Look to modernize. It's simple. It's not a sexy solution. It's just going and migrating some SQL, but it helps. And that's kind of where we're at. So those will probably be my big three.
Awesome. And then Britton, I'm going to shift the question straight back over to you in terms of modern work security. Again, going on to your big bets, what are we looking at for FY24?
Well, I have to reflect back what you said earlier about being so in line, because there are so many moments across all of our solutions where it's really about this AI readiness as the path to what to do with this buzz around AI. And I think that Eliott touched on one of my kind of favorite misconceptions that I feel is still very much out there, is that, you know, AI is going to come along and be able to correct things that are going on within these environments. And that's just deeply untrue. You know, it's, if there's things that are not going right as far as the governance of, you know, the estate, it's only going to make that happen at a more rapid rate and really show those vulnerabilities at a more rapid rate. So some of the things that we see modern work focusing on as a core is really just continuing to dive into the secure foundational productivity. So when we speak about Microsoft One Cloud here at Pax8 and really how all of these solutions fit together, and we know that there is no first cloud, we still don't ignore that modern work is definitely a first cloud that most people engage with in the Microsoft ecosystem. And when it comes to working with those tools, especially in SMB, you can see, you know, some people trying to cut corners around which solutions it is that they're choosing, whether that's trying to save money or trying to patchwork a really solid foundation for their end customers. But when you choose solutions like Business Premium, E3, E5, you're getting access to things like AVD that Eliott mentioned. You have the ability to use MFA so that you're securing identities, you're securing endpoints with Defender for Business. And those are the big bets, going in and making sure that identities are secure, that the endpoints are secure, and that you're managing the data that's being passed between them in a way that feels wise for your organization before you bring something like an artificial intelligence into the mix that's going to move much faster than the way that the communication's going on in your business right now. I think one of the cool things that is so key about this moment is driving the action of what to do today. And so
Yeah.
some of the things that can impact all of our solutions are working with our teams on estate assessments. So plugging in and actually looking at the data estates through assessments with Pax8,
Yeah.
allowing you to see that big picture overview of what they've got going on and get that in order before you move forward to mature the solution that they're working with or add AI to that mix, and adopting a security framework. And that's really key for me, because as the intelligence of this solution grows forward and just continues to become more and more rapid as how it affects all of us, that risk is also growing at the same time. So making sure that you're plugging into things like Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Sentinel,
Yeah.
using these tools that have a high level overview so that you're protected as you move into these new waters.
That's amazing. That's
Love it.
awesome. Yeah, there's a lot there to focus on for from a modern work perspective, but it's just there are so many big bets right now in terms of what partners can do, and I think with modern work there's no slowing down, and it is about that modernization of what they're using today. So yeah,
And since so
that's
much
great.
is built off of it, making sure that it's built to the capacity to handle all of those new workloads that you want to bring in, all of those new solutions you want to add, it's always wise to make sure the foundation's in space.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of foundations, I'll do some of the I will do some of the BizApps big bets. Why not throw it over to me, hey? But in terms of business applications, actually, a lot of the big bets in terms of business applications is, how do we enable partners to grow their modern work practice and continue to add value in terms of modern work and upgrades into business premium and those more premium SKUs? How do we help drive more Azure consumption, whether that's through the integration and storage with Dynamics 365 and all the other services that it can drive? So, if I'm going to put big bets down into a solution area, when it comes to SMB, Business Central, Sales, Power Apps, Customer Service, Power Automate, those kind of top five, I would say, are a massive focus. And it comes down to when you go onto the Dynamics or the Power Platform partner portals, links in the description for those, you can get a ton of solution plays for this. You can get conversation guides, you can get how to build a practice, you can get pitch decks, all sorts of information to help you go to market with those solutions, all available. So, for a solution area, definitely, looking at those five, and actually just go to the Dynamics free, Business Central, Sales, and Customer Service. Those three alone represent 80 to 85% of all sales sold through SMB in the indirect channel. So, by going in and sort of focusing on those three to begin with, you're still getting a ton of opportunity there, and it's going to drive the Azure consumption. It's going to drive the modern work upgrades and everything like that as well. Some of the other kind of big bets that I'm sort of seeing in FY24, thinking about those partners that today don't know where to start with Dynamics or Power Platform, never done it before, currently turning down opportunity. The majority of partners turn down opportunity right now. It's partner to partner. It's working with an indirect provider like Pax8. We have the professional services in-house. We can provide the pre-sale support, the implementation, scoping, demoing, post-implementation support, everything through you as a partner. So we are your extension when it comes to Dynamics 365. I feel like that is a key big bet when it comes to just Microsoft in general. I talked earlier, I mentioned earlier what I mentioned to Eliott about being AI ready and, talking about data and all these things. There was a statistic beyond our event earlier this year that the average customer uses 7 different partners / vendors to buy their cloud technology solutions to run their business. Again, it's not integrated. They've got data silos. It's all over the place. It's not productive. How are they actually going to harness their data and be AI ready? So again, Dynamics 365 and helping to encourage their business applications in the right direction, help them actually harness their data. 80% of customers today, or businesses, sorry, do not harness their data. So again, encouraging customers to actually start to utilize their data for forecasting, for predictability, all these things. they're actually going to be more AI ready. So I feel like Dynamics 365, and a big bet for that is the kind of conversation to be AI ready when it comes to things like Copilot. And on that, another kind of bet moving forward, when all these co-pilots and things become more general availability, I feel like there is such a bigger story to tell. I'm kind of a little obsessed with Copilot, and I love the new functionality with Teams and Outlook. I think it's amazing. Like, when I'm on the road and I see an email that comes through and it says "see below," and then there's 20 emails that I have to go and read through on my phone. The fact that Copilot is going to summarize that for me, amazing. The fact that Copilot will take notes for me on Teams, amazing. But again, if I don't have Dynamics 365, it kind of stops there. And then you start having to copy, paste, type up things. If you've got Dynamics, you take those notes that you haven't even had to type up, you automatically save them into your CRM system, and then you ask Copilot in Dynamics to automatically type you up a follow-up email. So within a couple of clicks, rather than lots of typing, you've written out notes, you've saved it to the CRM, and you've typed up a follow-up email. So I feel like there is a much bigger story to tell with Copilot than just what you can do in Teams or what you can do in Word and so on. So I feel like in terms of big bets for Dynamics, it's helping partners help their customers be more AI ready, be more future thinking and forward thinking. And, I feel like that's a huge big bet there. That's, again, it's going to drive Azure. It's going to drive modern work. So I feel like the big bets on biz apps is really enabling partners to become what we would call a one cloud partner, which is, being able to transact the entire Microsoft suite. So we've talked quite a bit about big bets. I think it's great that there's so much that partners can go and focus on across the entire Microsoft suite. And one thing that I absolutely love about working at Pax8 is the alignment between the three of us, whether it's modern work, whether it's Azure, whether it's biz apps, and we're all working together to enable one another. But I know that within these solution areas, there's a ton of enablement to really enable partners to go after those big bets and go to market much faster or do their education much faster, those kind of things. So Eliott, Brittan, I'm gonna pull it back to you actually, and just kind of ask around the enablement piece when it comes to. I can't listen to
teasing
Azure
me,
right
Matt.
now.
Teasing me.
We'll go to modern work. But what kind of enablement is out there? Whether it's Pax8, whether it's Microsoft enablement, that's going to enable partners to go after those big bets and really go to market with strength in FY24.
Yeah, so there are definitely some key Pax8 pathways to enablement. Not only do we do things like the easy to grab monthly updates, but we have boot camps like the one that you just wrapped up. I know that Eliott's Azure boot camp is on the way, and we had a modern work boot camp just last month that we wrapped up, which was great as well. And that is going to be, a couple days of really focused effort towards the solution that you're looking to grow. All of these things that are really enabled through Pax8, the great gateway to get there is the Microsoft Pax8 Hub. And I know that's going to be in the links below. So going through there, you're able to keep track of what we're bringing forward at Pax8 to enable you, and plugging in with your XSE teams, your CAM teams, all of your selling support to ask questions about what's relevant for you specifically as a partner to help you take advantage of all these things that are coming up. And when it comes to Microsoft directly, Eliott, did you want to touch on some of the Microsoft Direct things? I know that you had talked about that in an episode recently.
Yeah, we've got lots of stuff coming from the Microsoft side. There can be a sea of things to go out there. See, Matt, Brittan likes me. She'll hand over to me. I don't feel shunned by Brittan. Although you did speak about Copilot, so I'll let you off because I do love Copilot. Like, I have the attention span of a caffeinated sea otter, so having something like Copilot to just summarize stuff for me, really helpful. Love it. Yes, Microsoft has a ton of enablement. If you are struggling to find Microsoft enablement, I don't know where you're looking. There is so much of it. So we kind of try and distill that down into a couple of really core resources that you can go and check out. So Microsoft Learn is the first one that we point out. Like Brittan said, it's massive. We had a previous episode of Technically Unraveled where we broke down Microsoft Learn, all of the things that are on there that's super useful to you, certification guides, how you can enable yourself, how you can enable your teams from sales to technical to marketing, all of that content. So if you want to deep dive on Microsoft Learn and certifications, check out that previous episode. It was presented by yours truly as a guest, and a pretty good one, if I do say so myself.
Sorry about
that. Matt, let me loose on the reins. But it was a good session, and it helps you break down all the things in Microsoft Learn. But then that's kind of the breadth kind of learning and enablement. But when it comes to big bets and the things we discussed earlier in the episode, there's also some really cool resources that help you understand what the sales plays are, where you can go and learn more for cloud specific. So in the description below, you'll see a ton of links that'll take you to partner portals. This is the Azure partner portal, the Modern Work partner portal, Dynamics, and Power Platform. So these partner portals will run through sales plays, enablement, to customer marketing, pitch decks, like everything you possibly could need in those clouds, and it will highlight what the big bets are, any kind of solution areas that you should be kind of gravitating towards. So they're a gold mine. So when it comes to the big bets we discussed at the beginning of the show, discovering what works for you and your customers and where you can find resources on how to guide your customers, those partner portals are just absolute gold mines. Matt, I know you love the Dynamics one, right?
I've constantly got it open, and for anyone that follows me on LinkedIn knows I do a lot of LinkedIn videos, and most of the time it's from content from the Dynamics partner portal or the Power Platform partner portal. There's normally around 4 blogs a month on that one alone. So crazy. Even the blogs are brilliant. The blogs link to further resources. So for example, the update that I gave at the beginning about customer insights, there is a blog about that went out earlier this week. And then within that, there's links to, if you need a licensing update webinar, you click on the link that's in the blog. Like all these things within those. I love the partner portals, as you can tell. And then even things like customer stories, the virtual training days as well. So not only do they have the sales plays, but there's virtual training days to train you how to go and use those sales plays, or even fundamentals courses and things like that. So yeah, I cannot stress enough to everybody that you should have the 4 partner portals bookmarked. Or maybe just open all the time like I do.
And I have one last Microsoft site.
So much, I think we put the AI portal
in
the
you got it
as well.
Yeah.
That's the same wavelength again.
Yeah, it's these partner portals, they're amazing. They are absolutely amazing. There's so much AI content as well, like in the Dynamics one and the Power Platform ones. I'm in them all the time. There's a tab specifically for all the AI and Copilot stuff. So if you want to download a roadmap deck and all these things, it's all there, it's all downloadable, it's all free, and it's great content to consume. And what I love about the decks that you can download, if they're customer facing, they come with a talk track, so it's great. Like even things like Copilot that's not even generally available yet, you can sound like an absolute expert because it comes with a talk track delivered by Microsoft.
Even if you say availably.
Yeah.
That's even great for skilling teams too. Just getting those content into your team's hands can make just a big difference in the way that they feel about how they can talk about things that just aren't in their hands yet.
Yep.
Exactly.
Love it.
Exactly. And then I think you've covered pretty much everything when it comes to enablement, guys. The Pax8 Academy, the boot camps that we're doing, the hands-on labs, the partner portal, all these things, the enablement. I think the only other thing that I will add, I mentioned Power Apps. We do have a 6-step guide to build a Power Apps practice. That's another thing that we can really support on. And that's just a PDF that we can send over to partners with links to things like profitability calculators and everything from start to finish of building a Power Apps practice. I think from an enablement perspective, there is a lot. And that's a good thing and could sometimes be a bad thing as well. Like, where do you start? And I think that's where we as Pax8 can really come into this and really help you, know what to go and use when. That's really going to suit you, really going to suit your customers. Even things like going through the Cloud Ascent data to really understand your customer base and then pointing you in the right direction of the right resources to help you go to market. Like, this is what we can do at Pax8 to help you smash those big bets, to help you keep your customers, gain customers for life, get them AI ready, and boost your cross-sell and upsell across the entire Microsoft suite. So, I feel like we've given the listeners or the watchers a great lot of information. So I just want to say a huge thank you, Eliott, Brittan, for joining me, the Free Brits United, covering for Kristen this week. So huge thank you to you guys joining. It was a great challenge. getting all three of us on. So huge thank you. And now I want to challenge everyone watching. What else do you want to see on Technically Unraveled? Do you want to see more of the free Brits? Feel free to put that in the comments. We'll let Kristen know. It's absolutely fine. But no, seriously, let us know what you want to see. I'm going to be in trouble now for that. She is my boss. No, let us know what you want to see on Technically Unraveled. Let us know in the comments, what kind of content do you want to see? We want to make sure that this is as valuable as possible for everyone watching. So please get those comments in. Next week, Kristen's going to be back with Ashley Moretti to talk around the new, here we go, I need a deep breath before I say this one, MAICPP, the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. Kristen is going to be back with Ashley talking around those things here on YouTube. So look forward to having Kristen back on. Again, huge thank you for everyone for watching. Huge thank you to Eliott and Brittan for joining me this week. Huge thank you to the studios team for letting me host again. And I look forward to either being on as a guest or a host again soon. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again.